everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tabby. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know that Arabic fragrances have taken the world by storm. And in today's video, I wanted to show you 5 spot-on dupes to some of the most popular and most premium priced fragrances out there. I am obsessed with these, and I think that you are going to be obsessed with these as much as I am if you can get your nose on them. So without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into this video. Now, before I start with my list, I did want to give an honorable mention to Not Stag by Emir or Paris Corner. I'm not sure. I'm going to find a picture and insert it in the video. Now, this is said to be a dupe for MFK's Grand Soir, a fragrance that I have in my collection. I no longer have the dupe of the fragrance, but I have the original. I did test those side by side, and the differences were minor. In the air, negligible. You couldn't tell MFK Grand Soir to Not Stag that even the quality of Not Stag was as impeccable as the quality of Grand Soir. So if you have ever sampled Grand Soir and felt like it was a fragrance that you wanted to have in your collection, but you are frustrated that you cannot get a hold of it because it's forever out of stock in South Africa for some reason, or if you felt like that price point was out of your reach, then Not Stag by Paris Corner is one of those that I think you should get your nose on. It's actually, if you like Grand Soir, Not Stag is going to be a safe blind buy for you because, like I said, I tested them side by side, spot on. Alright, to kickstart my list, I want to talk about Nasheet by Lattafa. Now, this is said to be a dupe for Ani Nishane, a fragrance that I've sampled a number of times because I thought I wanted it in my collection. But since acquiring this dupe, I now realize that I have no need for a full bottle of Ani because I don't even reach for this dupe as much. Ani is a beautiful fragrance, but it's just not my kind of vibe. I like sweet, feminine, and mass appealing fragrances, and Ani is not even close to fitting all those requirements for me. So what I've resorted to doing is getting a 10 ml decant, so that just to have and to compare to any other dupes that they may come up with, attempting to dupe Ani as well, so I can compare those two. Now, as far as their attempt to dupe Ani, I think Lattafa did an excellent job here. The only differences I was able to pick out were the differences in quality, and those you cannot really, sniff out in the air. And you are only able to tell the differences in quality if you have sampled Ani, if you have Ani in your collection, and if you also have Nasheet. But if you are wearing Nasheet and a person who's familiar with a Ani DNA, they're not going to think, oh my God, something smells off. It must be these Arabic dupes. Something smells funky. No one is going to be able to pick out any of the differences in quality in the air. People who are familiar with this DNA are going to just assume that you're wearing Ani, and those that this DNA appeals to, they're going to give you the compliments. Now, I paid 200 rands for this, and at 200 rands, you honestly can't expect for the quality to be the same as Ani that is priced at 7,000 rands. And if you have that expectation, then you are the problem. You are the problem. Let's move on. This is Infini Rose by Maison Alhambra. Now, this is their impression of Initio's Atomic Rose. Now, let me tell you, this fragrance is so good that I'm considering getting the original fragrance because I think this is a fragrance that actually matches my personality. Now, this is rose, it is heliotrope, it is vanilla. Now, if I'm to make you understand what this one smells like, if MFK's Baccarat Rouge and Montserrat's Roses Vanilla had a love affair and there was a child that resulted from the love affair, that child would be Infini Rose. And this is exactly what it would smell like because at the top, when it opens, it starts off smelling like Roses Vanille. But at the very dry down towards the end of the life of the fragrance, then you start getting new, like Baccarat Rouge nuances to this fragrance. Hence, I make that that connection between Baccarat Rouge and Roses Vanille. This is beautiful. This is, of course, the quality is not the same because you didn't pay 5,000 rand for this fragrance, but it is for what it is that they were attempting to do. I think they also captured it beautifully. This is not going to be easily accessible online, but I think if you go in store, you may still be able to find these. I'm going to link a place where one of my friends said you can still find this fragrance. This is gorgeous, and for this reason, I did not bring Delilah or the many dupes to Delina because they are very, very similar. And I think if I were to pick one, because I wanted to keep this list under 5, this is the one that I went with. Now, this works even now in the winter, but I can't wait to wear this in the summer because this is a fresh jammy rose, and I think it's going to shine and come alive in the spring and summer. Performance in this is 2-3 days straight on your clothes, but I don't wear fragrance on skin, so I can't speak to how it performs on the skin. But as far as projection goes, it's not a beast, but it's going to project decently. You are going to smell good, and those who are around you are actually going to give you compliments. This is lovely, and if you can find it in your your nearest Arabic fragrance store, please just take it. Take it. Even if you don't like it at first, at first try, you are going to like it. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Sometimes the dupe can be so good that you actually want the original. But sometimes you're like, this is so good, I don't need the original. And I think this time, this actually makes me want to have an original creation of Initia's Atomic Rose. This is Infini Rose by Maison Alhambra, everybody. Exclusive Saffron is actually the newest addition in my collection. I got this last week, and this is supposed to be a dupe for Carolina Herrera's private collections, Saffron Lazuli. Now, when I sampled Saffron Lazuli in store, it was gorgeous, and I thought, oh, this reminds me of Matière Première. Oh, nice. Then I thought to myself, I'd rather get Matière Première because I already have Santal Austral from Matière Première. And it's always nice to have bottles that look the same. But when I got this, I was like, what? Fuck Matière Première. I'm getting Saffron Lazuli. Now, this is also one of those dupes that actually have me wanting to have the original creation. It's that good. It is sexy. And it's all the things that I typically wouldn't gravitate to in a fragrance. It's got leather. It's got oud. And I hate leather and I hate oud. But the way that those two notes in here have been treated actually gives this fragrance a lot more character and a lot texture actually. Now, if you like fragrances such as Initia's Side Effect and Tabak Rose by BDK, you're actually going to love this. But this has a lot more character, whereas the other two, especially Side Effect, are a lot more blended, that they tend to lose a lot of their character and there's no texture. The fragrance is just smooth. But here, so gorgeous. It's not really a fragrance that develops much, but I also wouldn't say that it's linear. It changes a bit, but it's also not a boring fragrance. So it changes a bit, it's a little linear, it's somewhere in the middle. It's not a boring fragrance though. That is what I want to say. It has a lot of character, it is sexy, hard to find. If you can find it in store, pick it up. If you don't like it, your partner is going to love it. Ew, this makes me smell like a rich man with money, a lot of money. This actually smells like old money. Oh. Exclusive Saffron by Maison Alhambra, everybody. Now, Exclusive Rose also attempts to dupe another Carolina Herrera Privé fragrance, which is Carolina Herrera's Burning Rose. Now, this is a rose with some spices. It's got some cinnamon and ginger. I can't quite pick up the ginger in here, but that cinnamon is very much prominent. The rose is not as dominant, but you can tell that this is a rose fragrance. Again, beautifully done. And if the original smells like this, and I did sample the original, and I thought when I sampled the original, it reminded me of Kayali's Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, and I did actually put the two, side by side, and they do have similarities. The only difference is Kayali's Sweet Diamond is a lot more creamier. Oh, that one is also another good one. But we're not here to talk about Kayali's Sweet Diamond. We're talking about Exclusive Rose. So this is a sweet rose with some cinnamon. And if you like fragrances such as Amouage's Crimson Rocks, you're going to love this. If you like Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, you're going to like this. Now, this also has some smoky nuances to it, but I'm not sure if it's got leather or wood. I'm going to pull up the notes and put them on screen. But it's not smoky at all. This is elegant. It is ladylike. It is also another sexy one, but it does not make me feel as fearless as the Exclusive Saffron one does. This one makes me feel like I'm a elegant lady with money, and I attend high teas. This is you can also wear both to the office, and every time that you wear these, you are going to get compliments. None of them are beast mode performers, but they have a beautiful scent trail and they are excellent performers. There was never a day where I felt like I needed to top up on any of these two. So this is Exclusive Rose by Maison Alhambra. The last fragrance that I want to talk to you about is Oud Satin by Ministry of Oud. And this one attempts to dupe MFK's Oud Satin Mood, a fragrance that I have in my collection actually. Now, I know some people have said that this is an exact dupe of that fragrance, but to me it's not. It actually feels like this is MFK's Oud Satin Mood layered with Kayali's Yam Pistachio, and that still gives you a bomb of a fragrance. Now, to me, this is a lot more versatile than MFK's Oud Satin Mood. MFK's Oud Satin Mood is a very strong and a powerful fragrance that you can only wear in cold weather, and you cannot even in cold weather you can't wear the fragrance to the office. But this one is a lot more versatile in that after the first hour of application, it comes down a lot. It does not, it does not die, but that that scent that scent bubble that it creates around you is a lot more tolerable and is pleasant for those around you. You're not going to smell obnoxious, and you're not going to make people sick, and as a result you'll be able to pull this off even in the office, and you'll be able to pull this off in the summer because it's not as strong as the original creation. The original creation is also very powdery and very sweet, that some men have complained that it leans a lot more towards the feminine side of things, and this has that the sweetness in here has been controlled and it's not as powdery. And I think that men who are drawn towards the original MFK creation but cannot wear it comfortably without feeling like they are wearing women fragrances are actually going to find a comfort in this. This is going to work for those people. So I think the elements of this fragrance that make it different from MFK's Oud Satin Mood are what actually draws me to this fragrance, and I like this a lot more. If I'm to make you understand what MFK's Oud Satin Mood smells like in the first place, to me it smells like that Christmas strawberry trifle. You know, when we make the dessert at Christmas, we layer biscuits, maybe sponge cake, strawberries, and fresh cream. That's what it smells like to me, but it not at that aesthetic stage. It smells like the trifle once you started digging into it, and the fruit and the vanilla cake and the fresh cream have now started and the syrup have started mixing together, creating just a delicious mess. That is what Oud Satin Mood smells like to me. It is a very lovely fragrance, very sexy. It has a vintage feel to it, but it's still very much relevant in today's society, and one that is very popular. And if you can't afford that one, you will actually enjoy this one. Now, in the comments below, I want you to tell me which of these fragrances caught your attention and what it is that you have tried that you would like me to get my nose on. Have a lovely day.